All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video leading up to the mid-season finale for The Walking Dead Season 10. And this one, we're going to start things by giving our thoughts on whether or not we think that Alpha will survive this mid-season finale. Alright, so I thought we would do maybe this one more, lots of Q&A questions for this one today, so we'll try to get through some of them after this topic, which is why, part of the reason why I wanted to make this video with you guys is because I did get a whole bunch of questions and comments this week. Of course, lots to talk about leading up to the mid-season finale, which is, if you have premiere, I guess tonight, I suppose, but for the rest of us, Sunday night, and I feel like most people are still kind of watching it that way, so that's when we'll do the review and all the usual kind of stuff as per usual. So I want to say, also from yesterday, a huge thank you to all of you guys who hopped over to the Patreon for Trev's Chan 2 and became a walker or a survivor, which just means that you pledge $1 for the channel a month, or some people did $5. So I appreciate all of you guys who did that. If anybody's still interested in doing that, since we don't know how many years The Walking Dead we're going to have left, and a lot of people would like to see this channel continue, then you can do that for less than a pop a month. It's per person. It's like insignificant. It's like nothing, right? But if enough people did it, then I could guarantee I'd be able to continue the channel for many years to come. We'll see. Aside from that, but thank you guys, those of you who did chip in to support the channel. I really appreciate it. And if anyone else wants to, link will be in the description to the Patreon below where you can do that. So the first question came through from Martin Marrero, who says about the Negan Alpha thing. So this one is kind of left over from that. Now I know last week we didn't get to see Negan at all or anything like that, but we do have to remember that this is a mid-season finale, and you know, there is a pretty important part of the Walking Dead comic book series coming up, which, yes, we're still able to reference this for a couple more years for predictions of what we might see coming. So spoilers for that, the comic version. So in the comic version, once Negan kind of lures her in, as Martin says here, he says, he's luring her in, LOL, she's going to get it and won't even see it coming. So the spoiler warning for this one for the comic version, of course, I've shown it, you know, I don't know how many times now, but Negan kills Alpha in the comic version. So the TV series version, he actually beheads her, and it's kind of fitting considering the pikes and stuff like that. I know it's brutal. He says, wait until Rick gets a look at you. So I guess in the TV series, the comparison would be wait until Carol gets a look at you, if Carol sent him in there to do it. So, but most people were saying that, you know, they don't think we'll see that. Also, there's the picture of them just wrapping up filming, and Melissa McBride has a scar from this season, so at some point she must get slashed or she must get cut or something like that. So I was thinking, like, what if Alpha does survive the mid-season finale, and then there's some kind of final sword fight between her, between Carol and Alpha? Oh my God, that'd be so exciting. I'd love to see, you know, some kind of like season end fight between Carol and Alpha, like dagger to dagger, like knife to knife or something, and have Carol be victorious. That would be a sick ending. So maybe I would actually prefer that to kind of the Negan angle. So I do think for the TV series, considering we just saw the stuff with Dante, considering that there's so much going on, even Oceanside and other stuff like that, Michonne's even in the mid-season finale again. In terms of predictions, because I don't know, this is not spoilers, I have no idea. I think they've done a good job this year of keeping the show kind of spoiler-free, or they've kept most things under wraps. I did not have the Dante Siddiq kill, or whatever, Dante killing Siddiq, spoiled for me until Premiere premiered it, which is basically means that until it aired, right? Because once it airs in Premiere, people are going to know what it is, right? I guess that's half of the appeal of Premieres, that you get to find out who survives and who's killed off faster than anyone else. So for Premiere people, for the mid-season finale, yeah, you guys will know the answer to this one before the rest of us will. And please keep it to yourselves. You're not going to, I know that already. I shouldn't even bother to ask. You know, it's like ammunition for trolls. But, you know, so do we think Negan is going to kill off Alpha in the mid-season finale? And leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about that one. Do you think that Alpha is going to survive? I will predict that, even though at first I thought it was a possibility, I think Alpha is going to survive out the first half of the season. And that's just based on where we're at right now. It's based on Siddiq dying already and not being really necessary to have another huge character death right after that. It's also that Alpha has come across as so cunning and so fearsome and so driven, just very, just very intellectual. The things she does, she's very crafty. She comes up with different strategies. She sends in Dante, which in the sneak peek, if you guys haven't seen, it's really good. The first few minutes or whatever. The sneak peek is good too. There's one for Gamma, and I guess there's another one maybe for Sadiq. So that's kind of cool, which we'll see. But the one I'm talking about with Dante, where it kind of explains why Lydia didn't know Dante. That's actually why Alpha picked him, because Lydia had not seen him without his mask yet, because he was like a newer join, and he did it. She said he did a good job in the barn or whatever that was, wherever they did what they did against the people of the fair, which was just brutal. So it kind of explains the whole thing. So we'll see that in the mid-season finale, which is really cool if you guys haven't seen that yet. It's online. You can browse around and find it on the internet if you look, which is really cool. But I'm going to predict that I think after everything we've seen, Alpha is such a good villain that I think she'll probably survive into the back half of the season and the second half. I think she's just amazing, and I think I'm still sticking to that. I think Carol should be the one to do it. I go back to that face-off at the beginning of the season where, they kind of see each other, and it's like, oh my God, it's just so hype, right, to see them face off like that. They look at each other like that. That's just, oh my God, for Henry and everything. I want to see it go down to Carol and Alpha. So I could be wrong. It's just a prediction. I don't know. Leave your comments below. How do you guys think Alpha will be killed off if eventually she is here? Do you think, I would imagine eventually she will be, right? She'll be defeated at some point. Do you think Carol will do it? Who do you think will do it? And do you think it'll be in the second half? I'm thinking second half. Same with Michonne. I think second half will be Michonne leaving or being killed off, whichever one they go with. So leave me your comments about that one and let me know, you guys. So lots of great comments here. We'll go through some of them. Alicia the Dead says that Carol is a sneaky bitch for what she did to Lydia. It's great. I just read that. The whole concept, the whole idea of Alicia calling Carol a sneaky bitch is just awesome. But that's true, right? That she did bring her there at the border so that she would be seen, or at least in and around there on purpose, so that Gamma would see her or she would be seen. And then, it's sort of like from Carol, it's like, oh no, come back, Lydia, don't run into their territory and let everyone else know that you're alive, right? Like, oh, come back. It's like, it's true, man. Carol is crafty, but so is Alpha. And that's why I think that, when I look at Alpha, I see Alpha right now as Carol's villain. I don't know about you guys. We all have kind of our own lens. Like, if you look at Shane and Rick, it was like Rick and Shane kind of, in terms of like that rivalry. Or, Rick and Negan had the rivalry, if you guys remember, like the fight that they had in the key and stuff in the house and things like that. But, or for example, you could go Dawn and Beth. That's a good kind of a rivalry there. But I look at Alpha as a Carol antagonist. I look at her as the opposite sort of Carol, like an evil version of Carol. If Carol ever went really bad, like full on clear mode, that's what she would be like. But I just thought of the idea of Alicia calling Carol a sneaky bitch. I think that's awesome. Tyreeses Arm says, laughing my ass off. Trev said, less traffic watching the show, more like no traffic. Game of Thrones gained and held momentum as it went on. So that's not fair because... yes, Game of Thrones did build up until its last season, in season 8, for it. But the thing is The Walking Dead went past that, did more episodes than that, right? In terms of runtime, it's done a lot more. Never took a year off. It's in its 10th season now, and Game of Thrones never got that far. Also, when people know there's an end in sight, they're going to watch because they know the story's going to be wrapped up. It kind of adds excitement to see how the story ends. I prefer to see Walking Dead continue on, and I even hope it'll get a season 13, even past 12. We'll see if it does, and we'll see how many years it actually can go for. I hope it does, but it's not really fair to compare like that, and nobody was happy with the way Game of Thrones ended. So even if they all watched it, it still destroyed the license after, because even in the video I did yesterday or the other day, people were like, I'm not interested in anything Game of Thrones anymore. I got a few comments like that. And you got to remember, for every one comment you get, it represents a lot of people. So he does have a good name, though, Tyreeses Arm. That's good. So, but, yeah, it's like, went on past. If Game of Thrones was in its 10th season right now and never took a year off and had no ending in sight, I guarantee you it would be kind of coming down as well, too. And that show costs like $100 million or whatever to make. It costs ridiculous amounts of money. So Walking Dead, I don't think is anywhere near that budget. Alan Payton says the show hasn't been the same since they killed off Carl. So there's a lot of comments like that. The show hasn't been the same since they did this. The show hasn't been the same since they did that. I mean, the thing is like, over the years, the show always changes. If you look at where it started, your key characters to start with was like Rick, Shane, Lori, and you had Carl in there too. You had eventually Judith afterwards, which was kind of the motivation for season. It's kind of funny when you look back on it. Like the motivation for season 2's end with Shane and Rick trying to kill each other is Judith, right? And now we get to see her grown up. So when you look back at it, it's kind of funny because it's kind of like, that's what this was about. And now you get to see her. She's growing and stuff like that. And it's just kind of cool. But every season is different. And people said that a lot after Glenn and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's never really the same if you think about it. It's always changing in terms of the characters that are there. And you have a few that are still around, but not many. Most of them have almost entirely all changed around at this point, right? A few times. So the sneak peek also reveals that Gamma's name is Mary, so that's kind of interesting. And she's talking with her, and she wants to see her sister's baby, who I guess is named Adam, he says, at the hilltop. So the one they rescued. And I think they're doing a good job of kind of coming back to that and making that an important scene. When I saw it in the second half of season 9, I thought it was exciting and everything, but I thought the baby was just a prop to add excitement. I never thought that they would use it so well and come back to it and make it such an important pivotal point for Gamma and for her sister and for the Whispers this season. Really good stuff for sure, I think. Samuel Fotheringham says, you're so stressed out about the Walking Dead ending. It'll be okay, man. Well, before I did the last video, to explain, I had like a coffee drink, like a double coffee drink, like an energy drink. So I was a bit hyper in that video. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm not too stressed out about it, to tell you the truth. I kind of always thought around that would be, this is the best case scenario, is that it went on so long that we were able to do this for this many years. A few more years is great. If it goes on even past that and the report is total nonsense, then that's awesome too. But either way, it's cool, and I'm accepting of it. And don't worry, Sam, I'm not too stressed out. I'm just basically I'm accepting of it and understanding that, it's cool either way. And I'm just happy that, it's even been on this long. I think that's a good position to take. If you're just happy that it's still going even now, and that even if they're promising, or let's say even if they're saying another few years, like 2 or 3 years or whatever, then that's a great promise to have anyway. And that's plenty enough anyway. I don't think anybody should be complaining if it's 13 seasons or 12 seasons or whatever. That's so many, plus Fear and plus Universe and the movies and everything. They've done a great job with the license and really given us a lot of great content for Walking Dead over the years, I think. Huntress Snow says, zombies forever. Oh, come on, Trev. We'll find something to talk about. Yeah, you're probably right, Huntress Snow. That's probably true. We probably will find something. And that's why I said I'm not too stressed out or anything, guys. I'll try to keep it cool and try not to get too excited. And I hope you guys will too. And, we'll find something to do. It's cool. And we'll just, we'll see what happens. I don't know. Life brings you some changes, though. So you got to be open to change as well, too. Defuse says, would you ever consider taking the channel in a completely different direction? Well, the problem is, Defuse, who's been here a number of years, is that you guys have to want to go in that direction, right? That's the thing. I can produce and post whatever, but for it to work, you guys have to want to go there too. We've got to do it together. You see what I'm saying? If I go into something, I've got to know that at least some of you guys want to go there too. So that's what it is. So we can do different things, and that's fine. We all connect on some of these amazing series that we like to talk about. So that's what I've continued to do, because that's kind of what you guys want. If we go into other series, it's got to be stuff that you guys want to go into also. And that's basically the key. But yes, we'll see what happens, and we'll see how things go. And I don't want to make it sound like it's all doom and gloom. It's not. We'll try to figure it out and see what we can do and see where we go, together, and just see what happens. BWolf20 says, didn't Chandler say something in an interview about a few seasons left before Carl's death? So I think that was maybe a spoiling the dead, spoil the dead, whatever. One of those communities on Facebook groups or whatever. That had said that he had said that to them for the last few seasons of the show. So I think he said that, and you'd have to ask him. Maybe he would answer you now. Maybe he wouldn't mind. But I think he might have said that because I think he might have known that Andrew Lincoln was planning on leaving eventually, or at least that he has kind of alluded to in interviews that he had some inkling or some idea that eventually Andrew Lincoln was going to leave. So if he knew that, then that's probably why he said that, because he probably thought that once Rick was gone, it was over. Like once Rick was gone, the series would not continue. And a lot of us would have thought that too. They managed to make it work without him, and it's done the best that it possibly could, I think, without him. But it hurts for sure. You're not having your main original lead that was originally there. But you've got Daryl, you've got some of the others, and they've done the best they can to continue on anyway, and I appreciate it for sure. Duddy Red says, how would you feel if they made the Walking Dead movies with someone else cast as Rick Grimes? So if Andrew Lincoln decided he didn't want to do it and he totally just squashed it. I don't think he'll do that. I really don't think so. I think he will do it. I think he knows the fans want it, at least for one movie. We'll see past that what happens. But recasting Rick at this point, man, it would be like a half shot. Like it would probably kill the feel for everybody, at least by half, is what I'm thinking. So even though recasting, like it kind of sucks if they have to do it. I would say that pretty much no matter what they have to do, whatever they have to work out for him, buy him a house or near filming so his family can go live there for a while or whatever. I don't know. Whatever they got to do, you almost want to do. You'd almost want to buy the guy a house instead of recasting. Like that's, if they had to recast Rick at this point, that's how tough it would be. It's like, yeah, I guess you could, but man, I don't know. I guess at some point could we see that? You almost want to avoid it no matter what. But rather than never seeing him again, maybe it's better than if we never saw Rick again if you recast him. But it's just, people are going to hate it, man. I can hear it already. If they ever did that, people would be like, oh, it's not Rick, it's not really him, because it's not Andrew Lincoln. So, that's a tough one. I hope it would never come to that. Just a couple more for today. Mike Regali says, do you think it's possible the Whisper mask Judith found in the episode was Dante's? Keep up the good work. So I don't think it was. I'd have to look back at the episode to see what that mask looked like. Dante kind of had this, was it like blonde? I think it was like blonde and kind of a wide mask that he was wearing. That's the way at least from seeing it in the flashes. It's hard to kind of understand because you're just seeing it in Sadiq's mind or whatever. But something like that, So I don't know. Is it the same one? I don't think so. But we'll watch that carefully for Mike to see, because maybe you're right. But I don't think it is. But I guess we'll keep an eye on that one. And so Sad Whiskey says, in my opinion, the only problem with the show is that we're missing one leader. When Rick was there, we had him in almost every episode. It just felt different. Even if the show is pretty good, considering how many actors is lost, I can confidently say now that it doesn't give the same excitement as before. We miss Carl, and more importantly, we miss Rick Grimes. So, yeah, it's tough, man. What can you do? It's just when you go on that many years, eventually that kind of thing is going to happen. I think it's better that they've continued it than they just end it with Rick, and just end the series. I'm glad they continued it, I guess is what I'm saying. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. It's just, it's what it is. So it might not be quite as exciting if you're not, because you don't get to see Rick every episode. But I think they've done the best job they possibly can given the circumstances. And that's all that we can ask. We can't ask, Andrew Lincoln to always do 16 episodes a year, every year, year after year after year without a break or anything. That's not realistic either. So I'm happy, and life's not perfect. What can you do? Ash Williams, last one, says, Trev, the promo for 10-8 doesn't seem to reveal a lot. Do you think Alpha's death could still happen? So on that one. So I don't think so, unless it's some big shocker, like right at the end of the episode or something. But for Ash, who I guess I should give him credit for kind of inspiring the video too. No, I don't think we'll see Alpha's death in this mid-season finale. But you guys can leave your comments below about all of that, including primarily the Alpha stuff and everything else. And like I said, if you're interested in checking out the Patreon, you can do. And don't worry too much, guys. We're going to enjoy this for however much longer it lasts for. And who knows, maybe the report will totally be nonsense and that it's not true. Maybe it's not true at all. And maybe it will last past season 12. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe eventually, it'd be good if AMC at some point could kind of tell us, like, oh, that was total nonsense. No, we've got it planned out even further than that or something. I don't know. But, maybe they, maybe it's not something they would even, address professionally or something. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If you like the video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace later, guys. See you soon.